The Guest List by Silver Froggie. Mark and I had been together for close to 12 years. We had been engaged for about a year, give or take. Wedding planning was well underway. This would be my second marriage, his first. I was opting for a small, informal. He, on the other hand, wanted a bit of a crazy wedding. He wanted an Elvis wedding, with him dressed as Elvis and me as Priscilla. Mark loved Elvis. We had agreed on a backyard venue with the justice of the peace, followed by a pig roast where each guest, in lieu of a gift, would bring a dish to share. I know, not your ordinary wedding, but funds were super low, and it was more important to us to have friends together than to be formal and uptight. We're talking country dress, shirts and t-shirts, beer and soda, and Cousin Bobby's potato salad. I arrived at Mark's late in the afternoon. He had spent the day moving boxes of books about, weeding out things he no longer wanted to keep. He was tired, and his left arm was really sore and bothering him. He went in to take a shower and let the heat of the water fix everything. When he got out of the shower, he laid on the bed to relax and called, "Hey, babe, could you come rub my back?" I entered the room, gave him a massage, then started running a bath for myself. It was time to wind down, time for us to wash away the week and just be us. I fill the tub, climb in, easing myself into the hot water. This feels so good. I lay back in the tub. A short while later, I hear Mark stir. He walks to the open bathroom door, says, "Babe," and falls backwards, hitting the door on his way down. I say, "Mark, are you okay? What happened? Did you slip?" No response. Mark, this isn't funny. Are you okay?" My voice rising with each syllable. Still no response. He lays there motionless. I jump out of the tub, run to his side, shaking his shoulder. Mark! His eyes are open. He gasps for a breath. "Mark, this isn't funny. Stop it now. Talk to me." He opens his eyes, looks at my face, gurgles, "I love you," and his body makes a violent shake. Then all is still. His breathing has ceased. I check for a pulse. None. Still yelling at him, I start CPR, reaching with my foot to drag the phone close to me. I got the cord with my toes and pulled it over. Chest compressions. Breath. Chest compressions. Breath. Dial 911. Chest compressions. My fiancé just fell over. Breath. Compressions. He has no heartbeat. Breath. Isn't breathing. Compressions. Breath. I've initiated CPR. Breath. Compressions. Gave them our address. Breath. Compressions. Hurry. And I throw the receiver to the side and continue. Check for pulse. None. Check for breathing. None. Run to the living room to unlock the door. Breathe. Compressions. Realize I'm wet and naked. Breath. Compressions. Pulling on clothing I see laying on the floor. Breath. Compressions. See a towel and throw it over his privates. Compressions. Breath. Sirens can be heard. Breath. Compressions. Big men bursting through the door. I have a sigh. Compressions. Breath. They check for pulse, respiration, and take over. I tell them what happened. They lift him onto a gurney. We all get in the ambulance. I call his cousin and closest friends in the ride into Springville. I hear them working on Mark in the back. We get to the hospital. He is rushed back. I'm escorted to the family room. Alone, I stand there, bewildered, lost, no emotions, just stunned. His cousin's wife arrives. I think she hugged me. I'm not sure. Staff enters the room, asks me what happened. I tell them. They leave. Still standing, my back against the wall. Rose sitting on the pleather couch across from me. Deafening silence. The family room door opens. The doctor comes in. I can tell from the look of his face. Mark is gone. The doctor speaks. I don't hear a word come out of his mouth. My knees gave way, and I slid down the wall to the floor, letting out a scream that only heard before in the realms we don't live in. The doctor leaves. A short while later, another comes in. Organ donation. Yes, I say. Take what you can do so that others may be comforted. They leave. Next, someone comes and escorts me to Mark. The room has been cleaned. He lay on an ER bed, covered in a sheet. They pull the sheet back to expose his head. He is quiet and still. His body is still warm. I lean over him and rest my head on his chest. No heartbeats. no soft, gentle rising of his chest. I kiss him on the lips and give him a hug. I ask the attendant for an envelope and scissors. I snip a small lock of his hair, tell him that I am so sorry and that I love him more than anything. They escort me back to the family room. Rose has been on her phone alerting family, telling them to come. Another staff member comes in. What funeral parlor, they kindly ask. I tell them that he's to go for direct cremation. That was his wish. His cousin walks in. Ricky takes over. Tells him family is coming to see Mark. They are on their way. He instructed the staff Mark is not to be moved until the matriarch of the family sees him. She will need the closure. I'm too numb to disagree. We sit in silence. Mark's friend Kenny comes. He and Ricky talk. An attendant takes Kenny and I back to see Mark. We stand in silence. I kiss Mark again, knowing this will be the last time I ever will. We leave the room, and Ricky tells me Kenny is taking me home. He will wait for the family. I'm too tired and shocked to disagree. Kenny and I get into his truck. It's a 45-minute drive. Reality starts to hit me. I have Kenny take me back to Mark's, as I don't know if I even turned the bathtub water off, if the outside door is even closed or locked. We get to Mark's. Kenny tells me he isn't leaving me here and I'm sleeping at his house. He says tomorrow we will deal with life. Tonight it's time to rest. He grabs some of my clothing. We lock up everything and drive to his house, leaving my car behind. When we get to Kenny's, all I can do is quietly cry to myself. I can't speak. He helps me inside, sets me on the couch. His girlfriend gets me something to drink, asks if I want any food. I just curl up into a ball. Kenny sits beside me and holds me as I quietly sob. His girlfriend calls my mom, who calls my friends. I fall asleep in Kenny's arms. A few hours pass, and there is a knocking on the door. My friends got together and came to bring me home. How they even found Kenny's house is beyond me. We drive to Mark's. Greg is going to drive my car home. I go with him. Everyone else is in the other car. Greg drops me and my car off at the house, and I guess they all left. I really don't remember. The next day, Ricky calls, says Mark's organs were gathered late last night. He is at the crematory and asks what I want to do for service-wise. Mark was Catholic, me pagan, but we shared each other's and respected each other's beliefs. We decided on a memorial service, gathering at Ricky's after. Ricky made the arrangements, and for me, the approved list of readings from the priest. I knew what I wanted to read, and trust me, it wasn't in the approved list, but it was Mark. The passage held great significance to the both of us. While the priest tried to change my mind, I held firm, much to his dismay, and told him that he could have approved selections at his memorial service, but I was reading this. Talking with Ricky, he needed a list of whom to contact for the service. He said he would use his house, a mini mansion in Springville, and he would take care of all the arrangements. I gave him the wedding list. Same guest list, different venue.